Hi guys, it's Sherry. I hope that you are having a wonderful day. Let's do some beautiful crafting. Y'all stay tuned. So recently, one of my sisters and I spent the whole day just out shopping, browsing stores, and just out in general. And we went to Old Time Pottery, one of our favorite stores, and we walked by these. And do you guys know what I saw when I saw these Christmas cards? I saw skinny notepads first, and then a couple of other things second, but skinny notepads. First thing I saw when I looked at this, and I thought, oh my gosh, these will be gorgeous. So here we go. I decided I would make one into a skinny, and guys, I think it is just absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to open it up so that you can see the inside, and the inside is just beautiful. And I made a little pocket, tucked a tag in the pocket, and then I put a star on the back just to kind of tie it all in. But the size of this is perfect for the skinnies that we like to make on the channel. So that's what we're going to make today, but we're going to use another card that I saw in the store as well that I thought was beautiful for skinnies. And it is this one. Isn't this just splendid? It is so gorgeous, and I cannot wait to make this one into a skinny because I haven't yet, and I am going to do that with you guys. But first, let's run over the supply list. So we're going to need a card, and this card measures 3 3/4 by 9 1/4. So that is what today's measurements will be based on. This card again is 3 3/4 by 9 1/4. And then we are going to need a skinny notepad, and here is the notepad that we'll need. My notepad has been cut down to 8 1/8 by 2 7/8. Then we are going to need a liner piece that we will be putting on the inside, and that measures 8 1/4 by 6 1/2. Then I'm going to have a topper for the notepad, and that's going to measure 2 7/8 by 2 1/2. Okay, and we're going to need 2 pieces of chipboard that measure 3 1/8 by 8 3/8. And then we'll need a piece of chipboard for the spine that measures 3/8 by 8 3/8. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and score the greeting card, and then we'll go back and I'll show you how I cut down my skinny notepads. So we're going to score this on the 7 5/8 side. When it's opened up, we're going to score this at 1/4 inch. And then I'll rotate it to the other 7 5/8 side, and again I'll score at 1/4 inch. And then I'll turn it to the 9 1/4 inch side, and I am going to score it at 3/8. And then I'll turn it to the opposite 9 1/4 inch side and score it again at 3/8. And then I am going to just fold and burnish my scores, and then I'll set this to the side. All right, guys, so what I want to do now is go ahead and create a skinny notepad. And the way that we do that is I start with a writing tablet that I get from the Dollar Tree. It has 100 sheets in it. And then I am going to split that 100 sheets into 50 sheets. And I'll set half of that to the side. And now I want to take this and split it in half. So I need to come back and I need to measure in at 2 7/8 and make a mark. So 2 7/8 is here. 2 7/8 is here. And then I'll make a mark right up here. So 2 7/8 is right here. And then I'm going to stand up because if I'm cutting from overhead, my cut tends to be a lot straighter. So I'm just going to place my ruler down And it won't be exact because, of course, we're doing this by hand, but stand up to do it so that you can place pressure. And then we're going to make sure that we are cutting straight up and down. And so once we have cut through all of our layers, we're left with a nice skinny notepad that measures 2 7/8 by 8 3/4. Then we want to reduce it. And what I found with the Dollar Tree greeting cards is if we come into this first line here at the bottom and reduce it there, we are left with about 8 1/8 of an inch. So we really don't have to do any measuring on this part. And there, we've got our skinny notepad cut. So let's go ahead and construct our book. So we're going to make sure that when we place our chipboard piece down, we are placing it so that it falls inside of all score marks. We don't want it sitting on any scores, otherwise it'll be very hard to close our book. So I've got one down, and then we're going to turn it and come to the other side and do the other large piece. We're going to put both of our large pieces down first, and then we'll put our spine down last. Okay, so once we've got these two pieces down, then we can come back with this piece, place some glue, and that's going to give us our spine. So I am going to place glue on this spine piece. And then what I'm going to make sure that I do is where the card was actually originally folded, I am going to make sure that I've got that fold line running down the center of my spine piece. And what this does for me is it gives me even placement on both sides. So I'll come back with my bone folder, and I'm just going to go over that spine and get it nice and stuck. So now that we've got it like this, I'll come back with my scissors because now I need to miter cut my edges so that we can go ahead and put our book together. And then I am going to come back with my 1/2 inch tape, and I'm going to lay it down right here on the chipboard, just like that. And then I'll come back and I'll fold this over and get that nice and stuck. And I am going to do this on the remaining sides, and I'll be right back. Okay, so before we place our liner piece down, we're going to want to go ahead and place the cording if you're going to be using this type of a closure. So I'm making a loop, and I am going to place that down, trying to find my center, and I'm going to bring it in because I really don't need a whole lot of that cording sticking out. So once I've got it where I want it, I'm just going to hold it in place with my tape, just like that. And then it'll sit just like this, and it'll wrap around our little knobby. So I'm going to go ahead and lift this tape up because now I need to come back and I need to cover this book from end to end with tape. So I'm going to do that, and then I will be right back. Okay, so now we can place our liner piece down, and our liner piece measures 6 3/4 by 8 1/4, and I am just going to make sure that I'm putting a healthy dose of glue on this because I want everything to stick. And I was going to go with snowflakes, but then I decided I would go with this brown because I like the way that it looks. It's such a nice contrast on the inside. So I am going to place this down, get it as even as I can. Come back with my paper towel, and then I'm going to get my glue making contact with my paper, and then I'll come back with my bone folder and just work that glue in. Okay guys, so once we've got our inside liner piece in and we've got our little closure elastic in, we're going to fold this over, and I'm going to come back and punch a hole so that I can put my knob in. And I am using my 1/8 inch hole setting on my Crocodile Big Bite, and I'm eyeballing this basically, And I'm just going to punch a hole just like that. And you can see my hole, hopefully, right there. And I am going to come back with my knob. First, I'll place in the little screw that looks like this. So I'm just going to feed it through the hole that I punched. And then I can take the knob that has the screw swirls or whatever you call it on the inside. I can place it down and then just screw this into place. And just like that, I've got a gorgeous silver knob on here. And when I close it, it holds my book closed. And it adds such cuteness to the overall look of the book. Okay, so now we can come back and we can take our 2 7/8 by 2.5 inch piece, and all I'm going to do is place that so that it falls over the top margin on this, and I'll just fold it over, and then I'm going to come back and just get it smoothed out so that I'll know where I need to place my glue to get the cuteness that I'm looking for. So I am going to flip this over, place my glue on the back side here, and then I'll come back and I'm just going to get it stuck down. And now I'll come back, now that I know the front is nice and tight, and I'm going to get that stuck down. So then I'll open it up, and all I'm going to do is I am simply going to place a little bit of glue, not at the front, but right at the very back of that top piece. And then I can fold this over, and I don't have to worry about the glue sticking to the actual writing paper itself. So I'm going to just work that glue in, get that nice and crisp. And this for me is a one and done, guys, but I will link the video that shows you how to make your pad refillable in the description box. So please check there if you want to see the process for making your pad refillable. I am making this a one and done, so I am gluing it completely. And when I glue it, I'm making sure that I get it inside of the fold mark so that when you look at it from overhead, that's how it looks. Now I'll come back, I'm going to lift this up and just press that glue down into place. And then I have this gorgeous metal piece that I am just going to place down with my reptile glue. And I think it just adds a little bit of charm to this. So I am going to place that right there. So I am going to make this pocket just a little different. I have a 3 by 5 piece and I fold it over 1 inch. So my pocket is going to be 4 by 3. I'm going to fold this down with some glue just to give it some contrast. Then I am going to take this, run glue on the 2 sides and along the bottom, and put this down. And I'll put it down right down here. Then I'm going to come back. And then on this piece here, just to make sure that you can tell there's a pocket here, I am going to take some glue and just lay down some flat back pearls. And that will also add some cuteness. And then to finish off this wonderful little skinny, I am going to take this Merry Christmas tag or sticker and place it right there. And then I have a cute little stocking, just like I used on the other, that I'm placing right there. And I'm going to close this so you guys can see just how gorgeous that is. Now really, is that not stinking cute? Yes, it is. This is just so wonderful. And what a wonderful way to use the tall, skinny Christmas cards. So not only can we use them as cards to express a Christmas sentiment or a holiday sentiment, a birthday sentiment, whatever the sentiment might be, we can now use these as ways of creating fun, crafty projects for gift giving or selling. These are just magnificent. Let's open them back up. And you see just how fun and cute they really are. But they are just so elegant, guys. I wish you could see them in person because they really are beautiful. And at first, I thought this one was my favorite, but I don't like to have favorites, but I do. This one is my favorite because this old world Father Christmas is just stunning. Absolutely stunning, and that glitter effect just takes it to a whole new level. So I hope that you guys have liked this project. And if you have, please hit the like button. If you are not a subscriber to my channel, I would love to have you join my online crafting family. You guys have a great day. Happy crafting, and we'll chat later. Bye.